Good morning, my name is Jody Rallah. I am from the Brisbane area. I currently work and live here. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge where we are today at Yarrabah. It's important to recognise that where buildings stand now, where buildings dominate, our forest giants once stood. I like to take time when walking around this area, and especially around the city region, to acknowledge the forest giants that were here and that remnants of them still exist today. I think I'm quite privileged to live in a place that's in reasonably close proximity to my ancestral homelands. So I'm a Yarrabah woman, and more specifically west side of Yarrabah, so closer towards the Ipswich area. But I also have connections to Birrigubba country, which is in Bowen region of Queensland, far north Queensland, and Warranol, which is a little bit northwest of that.
Tomam Innil, Fiona Wirrer-George Oochunyung. So my name is Fiona Wirrer-George Oochunyung, and I'm from the Western Cape. I'm currently living in Weipa, but originally my sense of my link to country spans across Arakun and Napranum and the Weipa township, basically. Yeah.
Morning, Wandira, Ngayabama Kunganji, Bunya, Elverina, Ngayabama Boomba, Yarrabah. Morning, my name's Elverina. I'm from Yarrabah and Kunganji woman on my grandfather's lineage, and Irinji Gimoy Moalabara, grandmother's side.
My name is Agnes Wotton. I'm from Palm Island. I was born and raised there. My parents were moved to the island. It was a penal colony place. My father is a cooker, Yalanji man. My mother, a cooker, Idinji woman.
So for the past 8 weeks, I've been involved in this project. Every Monday we would meet up and we would have discussions around what country means to us and how our different perspectives relate to that. Has been a real privilege, and it's so exciting we've been doing this over Zoom for the past 8 weeks, so it's really exciting to finally meet everybody in person and in real life. It's really exciting to be able to host them here.
So in terms of the Perspectives program, that was a really beautiful and continues to be a really beautiful process. It's all been really good. The entire process has been really good in terms of interaction, sharing, inspiring each other as well, having a snippet and an insight into what my fellow artists, their processes and their creative voice expression. For me personally, it took me out of my comfort zone. It took me out of the familiar genre of creative process that I'm instinctively and inclined to process as a creative exploration. So the activities, really happy I underwent those activities, and I did it. There was an aspect of it that was personal, but then to be able to share that in review weekly, I really enjoyed that. And the taking out of my comfort zone allowed me to explore creative process again and challenge myself.
So it's been really good being part of the process of Perspectives. First meeting everybody online. I mean, I've worked with Fee before, and I know Fee, but meeting Agnes and Jody, I think the process was really interesting, like meeting up every so often, every week on Zoom. That's one level, getting to know people at that level. but then also coming together and then seeing one another's artworks and all given the same task, and then seeing how each one interprets their own work with the same title has been really interesting, because everybody has a different perspective of stuff and interpret things differently, and also given the locations were all different. So what we all put into our work and the nature of that I think says a lot for who we are and how diverse we are.
The program, to me, like I said, I enjoy learning new things, so it pushed me out of my comfort zone with landscapes. I'm not a landscape person, but I liked what I did.
In my practice, I respond to place and material, especially the aliveness of what place is and the aliveness of materiality. In every week, we were set different tasks to look at the microscape, the macroscape of country as broad, to pay attention and really get intimate with country and place. And I felt also with ancestors, and just embracing that energy of where I was and where I was going, listening and looking on country, like my auntie always says. During this project, it was also a good chance to just touch the ground, feel the clay, feel the pigments of the ochre on my skin and that aliveness that they possess. I worked with them to create some ochre mountains when looking over the ranges of various places on Yarrabah country. We have quite a few different. Yarrabah country is quite large, extending up from the North Pine River down to the Toowoomba Ranges and the Logan River, as we go out towards Quandamooka country here in the east. So we have a rainforest region, we have the saltwater people on the east coast, we have more scrub and more eucalypt areas further west. And then as you go out towards Boona and out towards Toowoomba, it's also quite lush and rainforest. We have these different landscapes within country, and being able to look at how they all flow onto each other and connect, it makes me think about the way that ochres and mountains and pigments all interconnect across our countries and towards our neighbours.
Where I was becoming more acutely aware of country and produce of country and meaning of produce and of country in context of connection to country determined by lineage. So it was taking me into those layers of awareness in creative process, where one of the ultimate outcomes is a creative expression of just the wattle in bloom. And I was driving past, and I think I was aware of that weekly activity, and I was aware of black wattle blooming. It caught my eye. Stop, reverse my car, go and pull up right next to that tree, and just sat there and thought, wattle is beginning to bloom. And that's produced one of the pieces here. And the finished product doesn't look like, visually, it doesn't duplicate exactly what the blooms, how they were presenting themselves in that point of time. But that's a beautiful relationship between you as a creative human who's drawing inspiration from what our fellow forms of creation are producing to feed us and to stimulate us and to inspire us and to bless us. The creative process allows you to then colour in and layer and just do a dance with what is manifesting in front of you as you apply yourself to that process. So this program allowed me to go to those different layers of operation in terms of the creative process as it unfolds and manifests, and then what it ultimately produces, basically. Yeah.
A lot of my work is about Yarrabah, mainly about, because I love fishing a lot. I grew up fishing, learning a lot about fishing from my grandmother, and growing up, on the beach, little tin shack. So a lot of my work is about what I've seen, what I know, and the knowledge that's been passed down to me in terms of survival and food and everything that surrounds me, and how to, collect different types of food, rainforest food as well as seafood, and also everything that didn't become waste. So if we ate it, we used it afterwards for whatever. Used it in our arts and craft, for decorations, tools. So everything I paint about, it has some significant meaning, and how I'm connected to that. And a lot of that is in the work that you see in this project, perspectives.
And painting for me is a way of escaping reality, because society is moving so fast today, and when I'm having a down day or whatever, which I never do now because the way I paint, and it's simple, and painting to me is like a healing process, and any chance I get, well, I got all the chance in the world, I just sit there and I just paint 8-10 hours a day because I love it so much.
I just want to say, have that perspective about where you walk. Think about where we're walking, acknowledge place. This is an ancient and special place. We need to preserve it. We need to preserve our place, our story, our sites, for they are alive. They are not dead, they are dormant, and we need to sing to them and speak to them with art and with activation. We need to have that perspective awareness about where we walk. And I walk on the lands of Yarrabah, of my people. I acknowledge them. I acknowledge my ancestors and elders, and hold that gratitude.
And just waking up to nature, and connecting to that, it's a gift.
That's pretty much what we do as people, as First Nations people. What our ancestors did, they left their mark somewhere, and whether it be through stories, artwork, or whatever imprint they left with us, that will continue, that has to continue. As long as that mark is there, it will show visibility that always was and always will be.
To come down here and do this journey with the rest of you was a great privilege, and I thank Aboriginal Art Co for giving me this opportunity, and hope we can all stay friends from this day forward.
You brought 4 women together from different geographical locations, and we were able to have that really balanced flow throughout the process across that time frame that we worked in. Self, and then coming together and sharing And that was another beautiful aspect of the program.